Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to my 66th Flosstube episode. If you are new here, welcome. This is a channel that's mostly about cross stitch, and if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and spending time with me today. I appreciate all of you even more than you know. Today is Wednesday, it is October the 1st, and it is a beautiful day here in Maryland. It is still not feeling like fall yet. I think at the beginning of my last video I said something about the weather breaking, and then it ended up being like 80 degrees or more basically for all of September. So we're getting there, but we are not there, and I'm super ready for some chilly weather. Oh, sorry, I've got a partner right here. Yeah, so I hope everybody had a great September. My September was pretty rough, honestly. September is the busiest time of year for me for work, and that was very intense. And then I went through a really terrible bout of insomnia. I went like a little over 2 weeks where I was only sleeping between 3 and 4 hours a day, and that was not like continuous sleep, it was just like in little bursts, so that was also rough. And then once I kind of got through that, I got a cold, which is still lingering a little bit in the form of a cough, so if I have to, I will cut out any coughing if it gets too bad. So yeah, it was a lot, but there was a lot of great things that happened in September too. Let's see. Okay, well, speaking of coughing, I was coughing, and then Cora jumped down and decided to get her squeaky toy, and then Tarzan was trying to attack everything, so we were off to a great start here today, friends. Anyways, I believe I was saying there were some great things that happened in September as well. I'm part of a women's organization called the Seroptimus International, and we were the nonprofit sponsors of the Susquehanna Wine and Seafood Festival. And so a Saturday in September, Erin and I went down into town and poured wine at the festival for about 4 hours, and then we got to enjoy some wine and oysters ourselves, so that was pretty great. And then just this past weekend, I attended a Stitch Day, which was hosted by Hodgepodge in Strasburg, PA. They do that twice a year, and it's always a really nice time, so that was a great day, and I've got lots of haul from that to share a little bit later. And then on Sunday was my monthly stitch group, and I swear that room with, I think there was like 12 of us maybe, was louder than the 50 people at the Stitch Day, because we all are just so excited to see each other every month, and I had missed last month's, so it was really great to spend time with everybody. We also did our yearly swap that day, where we all bring whatever we would like to swap with each other, and I've got some great stuff from that too. So yeah, that's what's been going on here. Like I said, I hope everybody's had a great September themselves. I will say that for all of the reasons that I was talking about earlier, I did not get to all of the comments on my last video. I do try really hard to respond to everyone, but I was just frankly burnt out. But I did heart everybody's. I did read them all. I always love your comments, and I appreciate them all very much. Also, speaking of comments, I do have a giveaway winner for the last video, and I've got 2 giveaways for this video, so after I share what I've been working on, we will get into that. And I think that's about it for what's been going on here. Erin's at work right now. I left work a little early today. My intention was to come home and get this filmed and then start putting up our Halloween decorations. The bins are all over there. Erin brought them up for me last night. But it's now been a few hours since I've been home because they've been cutting the grass at the school across the street, and it has been so loud. Hopefully that's over with, and I only deal with the regular interruptions instead of any extra interruptions. Okay, let's get into it. I have worked on a lot of things, but have not necessarily made a lot of progress on a lot of things. In the month of September, I had 6 starts and 6 finishes, and here is my sad little book of days. There were many days that I only stitched at lunchtime. I was either too tired or too sick in the evening to do anything more than that, and I've actually I've been so tired that I actually picked up crochet again. If you've been with me for a long time, I used to crochet an awful lot, and then I kind of fell out of it for a while. I was working on 2 projects that I wasn't really enjoying, a blanket and a cardigan that's almost done that I just don't have any want to work on at all, and that kind of just like killed my want to crochet at all. But I started a new blanket actually in September that I'm really into, so I have been enjoying that on the evenings when I've been too tired to do any stitching, and once that is done at some point, hopefully this winter, I'll share that with you then. But I guess yeah, let's get into it. Alright, the first project that I have to share with you was my lunchtime stitching for 2 weeks this month, and that is Miss Lucy Calcutt, and this is 1825. There is also an 1826 sampler that goes with this. This is currently my oldest WIP, work in progress. I believe I started this for my birthday, which is November the 9th in 2020. So she's slowly but surely getting there. That project was in this Delicious Threads bag that I love. I'm stitching it in all of the called for DMCs, which are really very pretty. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 25 count Lugana that I dyed myself, and I'm stitching it 1/1. And here is where I'm at. So I thought maybe that I would work on this during lunch for the entire month of September, but I could barely stitch at lunch. Even though some days that was like the only stitching I got done, it was not necessarily good quality stitching. Again, being tired. So what I basically did was I worked on border. I don't particularly enjoy stitching this border, so I just brought the green border down this corner page here and across the bottom here, and I'm happy with that progress. I mean, I've already got the red border in there. All of these little strings that are around mark where the pages are, just because I'm stitching this 1/1, I don't want to get off. So that's where we are. String. I have been doing a lot of thinking about my samplers, especially after kind of the minimal work that I did on them this month, that I think next year I'm going to try to focus on them more and make them a little bit more of a priority. I have several large samplers that are going, and I've got more that I would like to start too, but I feel like I want to get some of them, at least more progress on some of them, before I start anything else. So there's that one. Another project that I worked on this month is No Time Like the Present by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was the 2024 stitch along, and I was inspired by this colorway here. This again did not get a whole lot of progress. It lives in this little celestial bag that I made. I'm stitching it on 36 count platinum linen, and I'm using two colors. I'm using 370, DMC 370 and 3031. I'm using one strand of 370 and two strands of 3031 to get the coverage that I like. And I am, I believe, in the July section, and that's where I continued to work. So here's the whole piece where it is. I really love this a lot. When we went to Woodlawn this year, I saw some finished projects of this, and then there is a creator that I follow on TikTok that recently finished hers too, and that really made me want to pull it out, and I just didn't get that much done. So each of the sections are like that wide right there. So I was working on this third section, this third page in July, and I did get most of my parked threads worked in, or maybe all of them worked in actually, and just kept working along. So not quite done yet, but I guess a little bit is something, right? This next project I have here is called Summer's Last Crown, Henrietta Peaver. This is by Cozy Egg Designs, shell from Cozy Egg, which looks like this. I started this beautiful sampler with my friend Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe and Erin from Erin's Makes on Instagram. This is really, really beautiful. I love all the colors from this. It lives in this happy little puppy bag. Love it. And I'm using all of the called for DMC, which is really a beautiful, beautiful palette. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 36 count Legacy by Picture This Plus. And here is where I am. So, not super, super far, but a little bit more. I was having some trouble getting this into markup RXP correctly. Okay, let me find my words. Michelle charted an alternate verse in the actual sampler, but she included patterns for the original, and they're like partial pages. So when I first uploaded it, I uploaded those partial pages too, and it like messed with the grid, I guess. I'm by no means a markup RXP expert. In fact, my friend Heather was giving me a little tutorial on it at Stitch Group on Sunday because she is like a whiz at it. So I think that now this chart is in there properly, which will make it a lot easier to stitch. But anyways, I'm just going to fold this up a little bit, show you where I got to. Alright, so here's a little close-up of where I was stitching. I believe I brought this border up. I added in those 2 butterflies. I don't know if those flowers were in there. I definitely believe I filled them in. I got over to this page and to this page here. I am stitching this 1/2 on 36 count because I'm stitching it in hand, and she's a beaut. I really love this project, and I'm really glad that we all started it together. Another stitch along that I'm working on with Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe is a full moon monthly stitch along. I'm stitching along with her, Jen from Jen's Fiber Web, and Amy Loves Toads. Everybody was working on the Full Moon Bell Pull by Tiny Modernist. Mine was an existing whip when I started, so I finished mine off and picked another project while they're continuing to work on theirs. And the project that I picked was another existing whip. This is Not Forgotten Farm, Old Mustard Moon. I started this a few years ago with Julie from Kansas City Girl of a Colorado World, and I made some forward progress this month. This chart is very challenging to read, so that's what has been a big hindrance in this project. It lives in this t-shirt bag that I made. And I believe I'm using a few of the called for colors, but mostly I just picked similar colors from my stash. So you're stitching it, or I'm stitching it, or I guess we are, because Julie and I are both stitching it on Murky. Mine is a 36 count, and here's where I got to. So this time I worked a lot on getting the bones of the house in so that it's closer to just having to fill that in. I think I put in this railing over here. I don't think I had that O in at the bottom, and I don't remember if I had worked on that tree or not, but that is some definite forward progress. Again, this won't be done by the end of the year. We only have a few months, full moons left, but I'm really happy to be getting some regular movement on this project. The next project I have here is a new start. This is my Board of Ed stitching for this school year. Every other Monday or so is a board meeting that I watch, and I like to have a project that I work on to kind of meditate on while attending those meetings. So the project I picked for this year is Morning Musings by Lindy Stitches. And this is very beautiful. It says, "What good shall I do this day?" And I knew as soon as I saw this that this would be the one for this year. I really love this. It lives in this little cat bag. because I don't know, this kind of reminded me of Stephanie from Lindy Stitches. I think she would like this fabric. So I picked this bag, and I did choose mostly my own colors to align with the school system's colors. I do think I might have kept a couple of the DMC that were called for, because there's some pink in there, but I did choose mostly my own colors. I'm stitching this on a piece of 36 count hibiscus from Fiber on a Whim, and here's my little start. So I just worked on some of the border. You never know how long these board meetings will be. Sometimes they are many, many hours, and sometimes they go by a little bit quickly. I did miscount several times working on this border, so I am probably not as far along as I could have been, but that's okay. I think that I'm going to take the other half of this fabric and use it for, it's another Lindy Stitches pattern. One is the Frankencat, and one is it the cat riding the purple horse? I'm going to put a picture in here. I purchased that at the Harvest Moon Hangout. So I think if the Frankencat will fit on the other side of this, that I'm going to use it for that. Yep. So there's my little start. I am actually not going to work on this in the month of October for the board meetings. Sorry. Just because I have other plans for October, which I will talk about later. Let me reset a little bit. I'll be right back. Alright, the next projects I have to share with you are some of the ornaments that I am working on for my coworkers. Every year, that's my Christmas gift to them, is I make them an ornament. And I will say that they send me pictures of them on their trees, and I do believe that they appreciate them, so it does make it worth the effort that goes into it. The first one I'm going to share with you is Lovely Ladybug by Nathnolu, and this is one that I'm doing for my boss. This pattern calls for all DMC, but it's okay. I did change up some of the colors to make it a little more Christmassy, I think. So there's the DMC that I used for that. And I also added in, this is called, it says Bijou, I'm not sure, it's like a sparkly, almost like a filament. So I did add that in. My Christmas ornament projects this year are living in this bag. As you can see, it's a mess because that's how my brain was trying to figure out what I was doing. Last time I showed that I had stitched one of the Liz Matthew ornaments. I think it's in here. Oh yeah. That I was originally going to do for my coworkers, but I did decide ultimately that these were too big and I'm going to do something else, which I'll show you in a minute. Anyways, here is, after all that, here is here's my ladybug. Focus, there we go. This is a 40 count mallow fabric, again using the flosses I just shared with you. So this will be a little round ornament. And then for the rest of my coworkers, I decided to stitch this freebie from Sub Rosa. I'm not sure, maybe on their website, I'm not sure where I acquired this free pattern. It says free pattern on it, but it says Happy New Year. I'll hold it back here. And I have stitched 2 and almost 3 of them. So this is a pretty sparkly fabric. This is a Seraphim fabric, and I can't remember the name of it. The tag, I don't have the tag with me. But if you want to know, I can tell you. So you can see I've got 2 done. Start on the next one. These go by really, really fast. And then in the pattern there are little flowers that go right here, and I decided to do beads. So I was talking with my friend Martha because I could not for the life of me decide what color beads, and she suggested gold, and I think that is going to look perfect. So Again, I probably won't pick these back up in October, but they're super fast, so in November I should be able to finish them up just fine. The next project I have, oh, I've got Tarzan here on me. The next project that I have to share with you is my Stitch for Pride 2025 September pattern. This is hosted by Dee of Dee's 20 Stitches, and in 2025 we are celebrating learning about stitching about transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming individuals. And this month we stitched and learned about Lily Elby. Lily was a Danish painter and one of the earliest people to receive sexual reassignment surgery. Very interesting story of their life. All of these patterns live in this elephant bag, and I am stitching them so that I can create little pillows out of all of them when they're done. So I live in this bag. I'm just choosing floss from my stash, and for this pattern I picked Sapphire by Farmhouse Flossies and Such, which is this beautiful blue. And this was stitched on 32 count black linen. And here's my finish. I really enjoyed stitching this one. This one I actually, when I was down and out and sick, this was what I worked on. And it was really fun, really fun to stitch. So, this stitch along is almost over too. This is May, maybe? I can't remember which month that was. We did just get the October one in our email today, and I've been trying to do 2 on each piece of fabric that I have, but I'm gonna have to look at the dimensions of the new one that came out. It's really cool. I'm very excited about it. It's they are Hungarian. My grandfather was Hungarian, and so I'm excited to read about this person. The pattern's really cool, and I'm really excited to get going on that one. So that was September. The next project I have to share is another sampler. This is one of my very favorite projects that I have, and very special to me. This pattern is called Ellen Harrison 1889 by Needlewood Press. I started this 2 years ago, maybe? I can't remember. Hang on. Tarzan is... This is him on top of the pile of all the projects. So, give me 1 second. Everything's fine. Anyways, I started this as a birthday start a few years ago, along with Emily C. of Eclectic Possessions. This was for the BAD SAL, that stands for a big ass deer SAL. We were lucky enough to see this in person when we went on our trip to Arizona, and I cherish that memory, and I cherish seeing this, and I absolutely love this pattern. So I did give this one a little bit of love this past month. This lives in this beautiful bag that was made for me by my friend Erin. So for the floss for this, Emily actually went to Color and Cotton and did a conversion for it. So you can call them and ask for her conversion, or you can email them, which is what I did because I do have phone anxiety. So you can email them and ask for her conversion, and they will send it along. These beautiful colors. Beautiful, and not too many either. And you tell them the count of fabric that you're working on, and if you're going to use 1 strand or 2, and they will send you the appropriate amount of floss for this. I think when I originally requested it, I told them I was going to be doing 36 count over 2 because that was what I thought I was going to do. And I've actually got multiple skeins of some of these, and I ended up doing 40 count over 1, so I should have extras, which is always exciting. Like I said, this is a 40 count. This is Overcast by Color and Cotton. Here's where we are. All right, train. Anyways, so this is where I'm at on this project, and I was working on this page down here. I finished the house, which was a joy to stitch. I love when I'm stitching something in hand, I love doing big blocks of color, and so a house is just perfect and very meditative. And so I was able to finish the house, which I think I just had to do the white on the house. I added in this tree, or whatever that is. Here, bring it closer. I brought the border down and around the corner to the edge of that page, and then I also started filling in the grass at the bottom. So there are a few sections, let me show you where, oh, I don't have the original pulled out, where she had stitched a portion of like the grass area, I don't know, first or like separately from the rest of it to make it stand out a little bit. So I did actually end up doing 2 strands of floss for, which is really tight on 40 count, for that area to make it kind of pop out. I don't know if you can see that. It's subtle, but it's there. And I actually took the grass line out over to where the deer is. I thought I was going to keep going, but I did not. So happy to get some progress on that one. I need to make myself go up and work on some of the top motifs. They're really cute motifs in here. There's like a cane and an umbrella and some chairs and a table and of course birds. So cute stuff. Love this one. The next project that I have to share is something else that I'm working on, actually with Emily C, and also Milka of Mega Stitches, and that is Ruth by Queenstown Sampler. I think the stitch along is Ruth 1850 stitch along SAL. I can't remember. We started this last year, I believe, maybe in August. I don't feel like it was September yet. I feel like it was still really warm out. This pattern, I believe, is only available through InStitches in Alexandria, Virginia. They have the original there, hanging up in that store, and I believe that they have the pattern there as well. She is so much fun to stitch. I really like her. She lives in this little moth and butterfly bag that I made. I am stitching her using all of the called for DMC floss, which there are quite a few colors of. They are all very, very pretty. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 36 count fabric, but I do not have the tag for it. I want to say it's a color and cotton, but I could be wrong. And here's where I got to. So this is the center page of the pattern, and if you can see this line of stitches right here under the cat, that was the official top half of that page. So I worked on the bottom half of that page, and this is the bottom corner there. So that's where she is. She is a joy. I can't believe how much I love stitching on this, and if I hadn't wanted to try to touch a couple more projects, I would have kept going. She is blocks of color, but you get to change colors pretty often. She is just an absolute joy. I highly recommend. And I'm not sure where I'm going to go after I'm done this page, if I should, because part of me wants to move up into her head, obviously, because that's going to be the fun part. Got cats hissing at each other. It's a mess, guys. Sorry. But I also kind of want to get over here into all of this green foliage, because that might not be as fun. So again, that's Ruth. She's going to be big. She's going to take up most of this fabric. So another big, beautiful sampler. I guess, would you say she's a sampler? She's a reproduction. Maybe not a sampler, but she is reproduction. This next one is definitely a sampler. And this poor project got almost no work done to it. This is Mary Pet Sampler, again by Queenstown Sampler Designs. This was done in Baltimore, Maryland, 1831. I bought this from the Oblate Sisters of Providence in Baltimore, but I'm sure you can buy it other places as well. And I love this, and I didn't get to this until like the end of the month, and I just I had nothing left to give. I was crocheting a lot around this time because that was all I had the capacity to do. And I've been crocheting for so long that doesn't require a lot of mental energy. It's mostly muscle memory. But this project was in my Black Eyed Susan bag that I made. Black Eyed Susans are the Maryland State flower. I am using the called for DMCs, which are kind of a mess. And I'm stitching this on a piece of 32 count. I thought I had, oh, here it is. 32 count vintage Luna linen by Lakeside. And here's where we are. I know it's not the full moon because Stephanie always makes sure that our group knows when the full moon is, so we all remember to do our stitching. But it certainly feels like it because everybody is acting a fool in this house. Okay. Anyways, Mary Pets. Here's where she is. Not much farther than the last time that you saw her. I did bring the border down by almost one flower here. And then I worked up in this tree and only from that line down. So that's all she got. This is what I was kind of talking about. Like, I've got these big beautiful samplers that are not getting a whole lot of progress on them. So I just really want to make sure that next year they get some work. I wanted to stitch this for so long and I was so excited about it and I was so intimidated by it because of some of the specialty stitching, and I just did it and it was fine, but then I haven't really given it much since then, and that was 2 Septembers ago that I started this, so that is not a whole lot of work done. So that was all of my sampler September stitching. I did talk a little bit in my last video about wanting to do some September stitching. September is an idea from The Greedy Peasant. They have an account on TikTok that I follow, and also I'm sure that they are on Instagram as well. I think I found them on there so that I could share that in my stories one time. But in September they talk about, learn about, visit historic cemeteries, and this year they did a lot about like the zinc tombstones, and so that was really interesting. If I can, I'll link them somewhere below so that you can check that out. But for September, I pulled out this whip. This is Lilac. This is also by Michelle at Cozy Egg. Sorry, I've got somebody that really needs to hold hands right now. Which is this beautiful tombstone. And the verse on it reads, "Warm summer sun, shine kindly here, warm southern wind, blow softly here, green sod above, lie light, good night, dear heart, good night, good night." And then it has the date 1896. The pattern's got some info about where that verse came from. This pattern lived in this bag, so it'll be fun to put a new Halloween project in there. Coraline. When Cora wants to hold hands, she can be very aggressive in that need. So, your mule girl, we talk about being easy. We did talk about it. Anyways, Lilac I stitched using, this was a misdye from Color and Cotton. It's just one color. And I stitched it on a piece of 36 count Pick Me Choose Me by Fortnite Fabrics. Which unfortunately is no longer available, and here is my finish. So clearly I changed the bottom. We had our cat Dingus. She was our little black kitty cat. She was our outside cat, and the last time we saw Dingus was last October the 30th. I miss her very much, but I hadn't been able to come up with the right memorial for her, and this did feel like the right thing. So I did shirt the word Dingus at the bottom. She was a great cat. She picked us, and yeah. I thought this was a perfect memorial for that kitty. And the other half of this fabric is this primitive needle. This one, I think it's called Follow Me. It has not been released yet, I don't think, but I'm sure that it will be. So I finished one tombstone, and I decided to start another kind of on impulse the next night, and that is Mary Hunt, 1767 through 1788. This is by Chartmakers. I don't know if this was ever re-released through like Carriage House or Kathy Barrick. I'm not positive, but this is just a little tiny one. She's 62 by 87. I am stitching her on a piece of 32 count chamomile by Color and Cotton. It's living in this cute little bag. How cute is that? I love this. Adorable. I'm using all of the called for DMC. And here's my little start. So as you can see, she's pretty tiny. She'll go by super fast. I'm gonna pull this back out in November. I feel like this could be an October project, but it's just, I don't know, I guess because of the colors, like that mauvey, kind of mauvey pink that's on there, doesn't feel Halloween-y to me. So that'll come back out in November and should be a pretty quick finish. Something that does feel Halloween-y to me, though, is something that I pulled out this week. I stitched on it on Monday and yesterday at lunchtime, and that is Tricky Treat Cats, designed by Holly Gordon for Imaginating. And this chart is definitely, every time I look at it, it looks rougher and rougher. I don't know what has happened here, but this is adorable. Speaking of cats, Mittens is yelling in the next room. This project lives in this bag that I made. I am using all of the called for DMC, and I'm stitching it on just a piece of 22 count white fabric. And here's where she is. So I did that ghost cat first, and then I think last year when I worked on it, I must have worked on getting this cat outlined. I had this pumpkin done, except for the back stitching. This pumpkin was outlined. I had the face and the stem of this jack-o'-lantern head. So I finished filling in the cat, and I filled this in, I filled this in, and then last night I added in the back stitch on the pumpkins and on the cat. So 2 down, 1 to go. I probably should not have saved the cat with the most stitching for the very end, because that's all just black. It's more stitching than it looks, but that's okay. I don't know that I will work on this again in October of this year, but I might. Who knows? My October plans are kind of all over the place. Typically, I like to try to be really organized about this. Last year, I got like a new box, and I had all of my my like new starts that I wanted to work on in this like big Halloween box, and I had a spreadsheet with all of my DMC, and so I could pull like a ring of DMC for colors that were used in multiple projects, and it was just all very satisfying. And this year I have not been able to do that. Again, like I said in the beginning of my video, my September was not super kind to me, and it is my stitching room upstairs, my craft room up there, it's so hot in there, and there is no fan, I don't have anything in there to help with that, and so with it being so warm, it's not comfortable to go in there and spend hours like organizing my DMC and stuff when it's warm. So we're going to be kind of flying by the seat of our pants a little bit this October, which is not my preferred way, but it'll be fine. I've got lots of great things to stitch. I'll talk about this, of course, more in my next video, but in October, I typically have 6 big projects that I work on. This year, I'll have 5 new starts and 1 whip, and then I take and I work through as many of my small projects as I can. So I just, any Halloween small, I just keep them going. So I did try to get a little bit together so that I could start some things today. And I'm gonna at least get a little very small started today. So hopefully October is a little bit nicer. All right, I'm gonna reset again a little bit, and I'm going to talk about giveaways and some stitchy kindness. All right, so let's talk about giveaways. In my last video, I was giving away this pattern called Black Cat Moon by my friend Ethel, who is Stitches by Ethel. The dog is opening the bathroom door. Black Cat Moon, Stitches by Ethel. She graciously gave me several patterns and little like partially kitted up things to give away this year. And this one included some fabric and some DMC and a little tart pan to finish it in. And this pattern goes to Paula Badger, 1784. So Paula, I'm going to tag you in the description of this video. So congratulations. And that, like I said, I've got two giveaways for this one. This first one is another Stitches by Ethel pattern, and this is the October 31st pin keep. Looks like this. How adorable is this? In this one, Ethel put some finishing fabric, some rickrack, some ribbon, and a few of the DMCs for you. So typically I leave my giveaways open until I post my next video, but I don't think that I will be filming another one until November, and I would like this to get to somebody in October at least. So this one is going to stay open until October the 15th, and all you have to do is use the word cat and a comment to be entered for this one. Normal YouTube giveaway rules apply. You must be 18 because you have to be able to give me your address. I do need you to be in the United States for these. Just shipping outside of the United States is probably more complicated than I can handle right now. I'd really like it if you were a subscriber. Yeah. So use the word cat. And this one will be open until the 15th, and then this next one will be open until my next video. When we were at the Stitch Day in Strasbourg through Hodgepodge, there's a big freebie table, and I saw this bag full of patterns, and I immediately thought this would be something fun to do a giveaway with. And then Ethel, same Ethel, I actually picked up the fabric that went with this pattern. So I've got the patterns here. Ethel gave me the fabric to share with all of you. And that is the Hands-On Design 12 Days of Christmas set. So I'm going to give away all of the patterns. These are stitched on 28 count Aztec red gingham linen. Sorry, I was looking at the back, so I'm not sure about the glare. But 12 Days of Christmas, all by Hands-On Design. Here is the linen, a nice big piece to stitch them all on. There was one already started in the bag, so I'll throw that in there too. So here's the first one that was already started by Stitcher that gave these away. And they also had these felt numbers in the bag too. It looks like at the top of the ornaments they had numbers on them. Hopefully you can see those okay. So I'm assuming that's what they were for. But yeah, so hopefully somebody will like this and will want to win this giveaway. And I think for this one, use the word winter in your comment somewhere, and when I come back in November, I will draw somebody to win that one. I actually won a giveaway. I don't normally enter giveaways. I don't know. I have like some funny anxiety about that, but I saw this pattern being given away by Grace, who is, I think it's Grace the Midwife Stitcher. If I have that wrong, I'll put it right here. She has a pretty new Flosstube channel. I do believe she talks about knitting as well. But she shares what she's been working on, and then she also will share a birth story as well. So that's been really interesting. I've enjoyed watching her channel, and so she was giving away this Creative Circle kit from 1986, and I guess the pattern is called needle painting. So it looks like this. And I just thought this was so cute, and it like reminds me of my town. And it comes with the 14 count Ada, the needle, and a big old knot of floss back there to be separated. It's pretty big. The finish size is 12 by 16, so that's pretty large. But I was trying to think, isn't there a stitch along? I think that Wendy, Matrix Stitcher, a Stitch in the Matrix, might have started it for like kits with birds in them. I think she was doing ducks. I don't know. Will this count? Wendy, can you tell me? But yeah, so I won that, and that was pretty cool. Alright. The next thing I have to share with you is a work in progress that I actually adopted from a fellow stitcher. I have a sweet stitchy friend who reached out to me and said that she had this project that she was not going to be continuing on with, and asked if I would be interested in adopting it, and I said absolutely I would. Thank you so much for thinking of me, because this is a massive project that I have seen other people stitch and have greatly admired, and I don't know that I ever would have started it myself. Sorry, I just noticed that Tarzan just walked into the pantry. I don't think I ever would have started this myself because it's so huge that it's a little bit intimidating in that way. So she sent me a really sweet card, and she also sent me this little hand beaded pouch. Look how beautiful that is. This has got such like a satisfying weight to it. I love it. And so the project she sent me is Mermaid's Folly by the Cricket Collection. Editing Megan here. I mean Courtney Collection, not Cricket Collection. So, which looks like this. She was doing the big version. And everything she sent me was so organized. It's in like sheet protectors, and there's little sticky notes of exactly where she was and all kinds of info. She sent me the work in progress and the floss. So she was stitching this on a piece of Seraphim Water Spirit, I think it says, in a 40 count linen using DMC 3799. And this is where she is. So I believe this is a little bit more than halfway done. This is stunning. Her stitching is gorgeous. You cannot tell the front from the back. It is absolutely perfect. It is so beautiful. So I hope that my stitches do it justice. As you can see, it's a great big piece of fabric. But I love this. I am so excited to be working on it. Erin loves it so much. He was like, you gotta get going on that. And I was like, well, this is gonna take a while for sure, because there's still a lot of stitching to be done. But it's gorgeous, and this is something else that in November I plan on pulling out to get my first stitches in. I still am like in shock about this, because it's truly a work of art. So thank you, friend. I've got a few other pieces of stitchy kindness here from my other friends. My friend Mickey stitched this Oh Dear by the Scarlet House, and I loved her version that she did. She did all of her letters in red, and is that right? Or in brown? No, she did them all in brown, and she did her initials in red, I believe. I'm questioning everything at this point. If you can't tell, there's chaos in my house, and I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Either way, I love this. Thank you, Mickey, for passing this on to me. Yours is absolutely beautiful. And then my friend Carol, we were talking about Jingle Ball classes at the Stitch Day, and I was saying that I might be interested in doing the pair class, because I'd really like to learn them. Every time we go to Stitches Unlimited in Lancaster, they've got the pairs done, and they are so pretty. And Carol was like, well, I've done them, so I'm going to pass those patterns on to you. So she passed on red work and blue work pairs for me to stitch. This is something else I want to start immediately. I love them so much, and I'm excited to try to make them. And she also gave me this pack of printouts of freebie pairs. So, and she told me where I could find them. So I'm going to go and I'm gonna go onto these websites and print them out too. So that's super, super cool. Thank you so much, Carol. I really appreciate that greatly. And then Ethel gave me this big hoop. And she also, this is not stitchy related, but this was really kind. She found this book. It's called The Book of Gingerbread. It looks like this, which it looks like a kind of regular just cookbook, but it's like creepy gingerbread and creepy holiday recipes in here. If I can find just like an example real quick, like look at that gingerbread man. She was like, it was creepy and it's baking, so I thought you would love it, and she was right. Thank you, Ethel. You're the sweetest. All right, Erin just got home and took Cora for a walk, so hopefully I can finish this video. I have no idea how I'm going to get this all edited together. I cannot tell you how many times I have started and stopped this. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I know this is going to be a hot mess, but we are almost there. We are almost done. All I have left to share with you are the things that I got, like that I purchased, and the things that I picked up in off the freebie tables and through the swap day at my stitching group. And I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. The first thing I have here is my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month Club. This was Flint Stone. I get the 36 count, as always. Pretty blown out. It is a beautiful next to it if it helps. It's a beautiful kind of a light purpley gray. My Needlecraft Corner one has not shipped yet. I don't know, she it seems like she processed it a little bit later this month for whatever reason, which is totally fine. Let's see, I'm sorry, I'm trying to decide what to do next. So I did have a ticket for the Harvest Moon Hangout that was hosted by Lindy Stitches and her team. However, that was the same weekend as the wine festival that I had talked about in the beginning of the video. And so I just could not really attend that at all. I logged on Friday night and I did a little bit of shopping, and then Saturday I was totally wiped after peopling all day, and then Sunday I was just busy and I just could not ever log into any of the stitching rooms, and I missed all of the sessions except for the one with, I think her name was Anne from Gloriana, which that one was amazing. That was really cool to listen to. But anyways, like I said, I did do some shopping from the store there. I got these super cute earrings, which I cannot wait to wear. Those are so cool, right up my alley. I got the Edgar Allan Poe sticky notes. Again, could not resist those. I did get Stephanie's exclusive pattern, which I'll put a picture in right here. I picked up the thread drops, the Rip to My Whips by Willoughby Ann, and they're all like little tombstones. I'm gonna get a big glare. All different little tombstone thread drops. Super cool. And then I also picked up this pattern, which is by Calico Confectionery, and it's Gather Ye Pumpkins. This is something that I've looked at multiple times, and I decided, since I was placing an order to have things shipped anyways, this was a good time to go ahead and grab that. I will be attending the Jingle Ball. I will not be double booking myself that weekend. The next shop that I placed an order with is Cottage Cat Designs. I think I saw Erin and Amity of the Hathaway Stitchers talking about Cottage Cat Designs. Here's the card. So I went over there and picked out a few things. Oh, actually I missed this. This was also from Harvest Moon Hangout, this little needleminder. But from Cottage Cat, I grabbed some more floss drops. I got these like fall farmhouses. They remind me of my house. Those are really cute. And I also got, my piles are falling, some like kind of creepy tombstone scenes. So those are really cool as well. She sent along some like a little project card and tag. I got one of her, she calls it a Schneedel minder. It's like a badge reel, a cute badge reel that you can put your scissors on, but I might just use it for my my work badge because that's really cute. And then I also got her needle art thread book. So this comes with, here, let me show it to you first. It was this cute pattern. So this is like cardboard, and it's a book like this with the felt in it, and then she gives you little stickers so that if you've got your threads in here, you can use a little sticker to label which one is which, and then also this like piece of vellum to kind of keep your threads together so you can do that. How sweet is that? This needs to go into a really special project. That might go in with Ruth, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That might be good for all of the color changes that you do in there. I'm part of the Top Knot Stitcher Shop's auto ship for the Cottage Garden Samplings Year in the Woods 2. This is number 4, The Crow. I've definitely seen people already finish this. It's amazing. And next month is a turkey, and I'm really excited about that one too. So I loved him. I treated myself to a project bag by Vintage Stitchers on Etsy. I am often enabled by the things that Stephanie from Cross Stitch the Globe posts in her stories, and she posted about these project bags. I had never heard of this person, I don't think, or I wasn't, if I did, I don't know. I definitely never ordered for them before, but look at this project bag. Isn't she beautiful? I think that my my Halloween start, my anniversary start is gonna go in this gorgeous, gorgeous bag. Oh man, I'm really excited about that. And the next thing I have to share with you is that I purchased a Kay's Creation lap stand. Looks like this. And I love this. This is like the stand of my dreams. It's adjustable. I ordered it directly from their Etsy site. They were having a sale, and it did take a little bit of time to get here. I think that they are made to order, but this is amazing. This is exactly what I've bought so many various stands over the years, and I do use my Lowry, but this is like my dream stand. I love this so much. If I'm not stitching in hand, I'm pretty much using this, and so I am obsessed. It was worth every single penny and all of the weight, and I love it so much. Alright, the next things I'm going to share with you are what I purchased at the Stitch Day. Again, put on by Hodgepodge in Strasbourg. I don't think they have a website at all. They do have a Facebook group, but it's kind of a shop that you just have to go and dig around in. It's in an old building, and there are treasures to be found in every nook and cranny. So yeah, this was an exclusive design for that Stitch Day, which was designed by Ethel, Stitches by Ethel, and it's the pumpkin basket and keep. It's like this, and there's a little kit. How cute is that? Love that. They had a few tables set up with some patterns that you could purchase from the store, and I got some more Ethel patterns. I got her new release Halloween Moon. I do want the Santa Moon as well. I really like that one too. And everybody's favorite, chicken and waffles. This is based on two girls in my stitch group, two women in my stitch group. One has this donkey named Waffles, and the other one has these cute chickens, and this was fun to see it done, and it's just, I'm obsessed. I love this so much. I also picked up two patterns by Happiness is Heart Made. The designer is Christy Ortiz, and Christy is in Virginia, and she drove up 4 hours with her husband to attend that Stitch Day with us, and she had a variety of really cute patterns. I had not, I was not aware of this designer, I don't think, and I purchased 2 of them. I got Dog Mom and Dog Dad, and I think that I will like swap one of the dogs so they can be like facing each other, and obviously change the colors up to look more like Coraline. But Christy sat next to me at our table, and she was really, really lovely. So yeah, I really, really like those. They were super, super cute. There is a maker that is at most of these stitch days, and her name is Margaret. She does not have a shop, but this is her. I'm going to cover up her phone number. This is her name. And she always has the coolest stuff there. And I always buy things from her, and this time was no exception. In fact, I shopped her table 2 times. I could have probably gone back for more. But the first thing I got was this. It's all wrinkled because Tarzan was sleeping on it. Is this feed sack bag, tote bag. I'm a big tote bag person, and it has got the prettiest like fall fabric inside. I don't know, can you see? There's like sleeping foxes, and there's a little pocket in here, and it's just so sweet. I really, really like this bag. She also had some needle minders, so I got 2 needle minders. I got this one, and this one's giant, but that's okay. I just liked it a lot. Picked up this little pin cushion. It's like a little salt cellar. That's sweet fabric inside. And I got this bag from her as well. This little cute little bag. Love it. From Handmade by Debbie, who is actually, she lives in the same town that I do. She's super nice, and her mom is too. And she always has beautiful bags, and I think that I've resisted them thus far. She got me this time though. I got this little charm. She had a bag that matched this, which obviously was very tempting for me, but when I saw this one, I was totally done in. Look at that fabric. It's so pretty. This is so pretty, and it's so well made, and there's splits on it, don't mind that. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. She makes really, really gorgeous stuff. So that was everything I purchased, and everything else are things that I acquired from the freebie table or from our swap day. Let's see here. From our swap day, I picked up this Praiseworthy Stitches Haunted Casket Again kit. So that's what it looks like. And it was the full kit with the casket, the instructions, the linen, everything you need in there. I picked up this Barrick Samplers Fractor Sampler, first in the series, which now I'm questioning if I already have this or not. So if I do already have it, that might end up being a giveaway. I grabbed this Little House Needleworks Fall on the Farm. This was chart number 2. I know this is a series, but this is the only one of the series that I ever thought that I would be interested in stitching, and I've like put it in carts before and never purchased it, so I was excited to see that. I love that. Again, that's not what my house looks like, but it reminds me of my house. I got this Bent Creek Eek. Cute. I picked up this Good Housewife Pennsylvania Christmas sampler. Sorry, I've got some glare there. There were a few primitive hairs. This is Home is Where My Stitching Is. And Miss Flora Fanny Flax. I've seen this one. I don't think this has been released yet. I think this was in a box maybe. But I've almost purchased this on Stash Unloading before, and I really am excited for that one too. I also picked up Beggar's Night from Hardwork Primitives. This is Lancaster County 1859 by the Pin Keep. Nice primitive little sampler. I grabbed French Flea Market Biscornu by Heartstring Samplery. Berry Basket by Primrose Cottage. This might be for next year's Strawberry Moon. I saw Martha, this must have been Martha's pile, she stitched this up and it's really pretty. Halloween Tiny Town. I don't think I own any Tiny Towns. This might be my first one. There was this Charted Christmas Designs book, and I got it for that one right there. I really like that holly. That would make a really pretty pillow. I think I've got some 18 count linen that I could stitch it big. And then also 50 miniature sayings, not just country. I don't know if there's a big picture on it, but there's some blue ribbon geese on here that I'm really into. So I grabbed that. And that was everything that I got from our swap day. Hopefully some people found some treasures in my stuff as well. I certainly hope so. And lastly is what I picked up from the freebie table at the Hodgepodge Day. This first one is a kit. It's by Debbie Mum. Backyard Birdhouses. Sorry, I had to really look there. That's what that looks like. And that came with all the finishing fabric. It was actually, there's a little start in it as well. And this looks like a mess, but it's actually really not. All of the thread is sorted on this like butterfly acrylic palette. This was another little started project. This is Autumn Home Ensemble. What is this? This is from a Stony Creek, October 2007. It looks like this. And this project down here is a nightlight. And it was, can you see it? And it was actually already started. Here's the little start on the perforated paper. And I picked it up because it came with a nightlight with a little shield on it. So that was cute. I picked up this Reflet de Soie. Pretty. This little Dimensions kit. This is a no count cross stitch kit. So I think this is a printed fabric. This is Chickadee Inn. I saw this cute little Lindy Stitches pattern with this swan. Another kit, this one was by Samplers Not Forgotten. It looks like it came from a little help from our friend Stitching Circle by the Silver Needle. So this was a kit with all of everything in it, and actually this project was started as well. There's a lot of over one on this, and so I'm not sure if I will do all of that over one or take this part that's stitched here and add a few motifs to it and make that into a cute little pillow. Yeah, so there's all the silk and the finishing accoutrement in there. And lastly, I picked up a couple of vintage patterns. This is Something Special Forest Babies collection by Candy Martin. I really like those. There's some really cute stuff on here. I feel like I own this because I've looked at this many times, but I don't think that I do. Same with this one, Wild Animals of North America. Look at that. I love that. And then lastly, I picked up this Patriotic Stocking Stuffers by the Needle Love Company. I have their other stocking patterns, and I think that even though I'm not a patriotic stitcher, I think that I could make these like look all weird and old and grungy and make them into something I do like. So okay, that's everything. I have a giant mess here. Again, if you've made it to the end of this, thank you, because I know that was kind of a disaster. But I hope everybody has a wonderful October, and I will see you all next time. Love you. Bye.